Welcome guys, today we are going to start our video lecture series on physics. So we are going to start from HHSC part first. So before we will start our video lecture on different topic, let us define physics. As we know that it is derived from a Greek word physis, and physis means nature. So shortly we can put together that physics is the study of nature. So it is the study of nature. And we know nature itself, it is composed of two main things. Wherever you will see, you will find either matter or energy. So nature itself is the composition of matter and energy. So thus we can also define physics as the study of matter and energy. So it is the study of matter and energy, and these two quantities, they are actually thought to be the two different aspects of a single thing. So they are interrelated, they are interlinked. So we can also say that it is the study of matter and energy and their mutual relationship, right? So thus in physics we are going to study about nature, and in nature you can see different phenomena they are going on, and with these phenomena there are different laws, natural laws, which govern those phenomena. So we will study those natural laws, we will study those natural phenomena, and physics develop tools to measure and to look deep into those natural phenomena, right? So basically, if we will look around us, we can find different types of matters, and in order to study those matters quantitatively, what we need to do is we need to measure different types of quantities. So measurement is one of the key component of physics. So physical quantities can be defined as such quantities which can be measured. Okay, any measurable quantity can be considered as physical quantity. So we can take many examples like time, like mass, like length, right? So there are many physical quantities. For measurement we need some specific tools, and those tools are called units. These are actually standards. Units are the standards with which we are going to compare other physical quantities in order to measure them, right? So for measurement we need some standards, and those standards are already set. So we are actually having different physical quantities according to System International. According to System International, there are two types of physical quantities: base and derived. Okay, so further base quantities, they have been divided into 7 different physical quantities. You can see those 7 base physical quantities in the chart, right? So these are further divided into 7 base physical quantities, and we are having many derived quantities, like force is one of the derived quantity, acceleration. You already have done these things in your elementary classes, right? And momentum. So these are derived quantities, and we are having time, temperature, mass, length. So there are 7, and current, amount of substance, and intensity of light. So these are the 7 base quantities, on the basis of which we can define other physical quantities. Those physical quantities we call as derived physical quantities, right? So these derived physical quantities can be defined. They are actually being defined on the basis of fundamental physical quantities, which are the base physical quantities. Okay, and they are having different unit, SI unit, and you can find all those units in the chart, right? Okay, now as we know that base physical quantities are having SI unit, which are called as base unit, and the derived physical quantities are having unit which are called as the derived unit, right? But there are some other units which are not included in either base and derived category, and those units are supplementary units. These are not included in the 7 base unit and the other derived units. Okay, there are 2 basic supplementary units which we will be using at this level. The first one is radian. These are geometrical units. Okay, the supplementary unit which we are going to define next are geometrical. Okay, the first one is radian. It is also called plane angle, right? Plane angle. Okay, so how we are going to define radian? So let us draw a circle. Okay, so let's say this is the center of the circle and this is the radius. If we will move from this point, let's say this is A, and if we will go around the circumference, and let's say after certain time we will reach another point B. Now this radius is going to construct an angle theta at the center, and we have covered an arc, and that arc we called as S. Now radian is the measurement of the plane angle at the center of a circle when an arc of length, in our case that is S, is equal to the radius of the circle. So if we will move around the circumference, and when we will go around the circumference, and when the arc become equal to the radius, at that time whatever angle will be constructed at the center will be considered as 1 radian, right? So generally we write theta is equal to S divided by R. This is arc and this one is the radius of the circle. So radian can be defined as the angle subtended at the center of the circle by an arc of length equal to the radius of the circle. So when this arc becomes equal to the radius, the angle subtended at the center of the circle will be 1 radian. And we are going to derive a relationship between radian and degree, because generally at our lower classes we measure angle in degree, right? So yes, we can use degree, but at this level we will prefer radian in order to measure angle, plane angle, and there is a relationship that can relate, or you can use that relation in order to convert degree into radian and radian into degree. Okay, so if we will move at this direction, and if we will complete one circle, we will reach again the starting point. So how much distance we have covered, that distance would be equal to the circumference of the circle, right? Let's say for complete revolution and complete revolution means one revolution will be equal to 360 degree. We know that if we will complete one revolution, the total angle subtended will be 360 degree, right? Okay, so this one revolution which is equal to 360 degree is actually the total distance or the total arc we are going to cover, right? So then the angle in radian will be equal to, and this is also equal to 2 pi r. In radian it is equal to 2 pi r, because we know that the circumference or the general formula for circumference of any circle is 2 pi r, right? So I can write theta is equal to, instead of s our r, instead of s we can insert this value 2 pi r divided by r are going to be cancelled, right? So we are left with 2 pi, and this angle is measured in radian, so 2 pi radian. What does it mean? This is one revolution, right? So one revolution is equal to 2 pi radian, and we also know that one revolution is equal to 360 degrees, so I can relate it with 360 degree. So next, from here you can relate 2 pi rad is equal to 360 degree, and 1 radian would be equal to 360 by 2 pi, and pi is equal to 3.14. We know it is a constant, right? And we can find pi by dividing the circumference of a circle by the diameter of the same circle, right? So we have done it in our previous classes. So 1 rad will be equal to, so when you will divide 360 upon 2 pi, you will get 57.3. So 1 radian is actually equal to 57.3 degrees. So this was a relationship between radian and degree. Both are units to measure plane angle, but in SI system we would prefer to use radian instead of degree, right? Okay. Steradian. It is a solid angle used to measure solid angle, right? It's a unit used to measure solid angle. Steradian is a unit used to measure solid angle. Now what does it mean by this solid angle? Okay, let us take a sphere just like a football, and let's say this is the center of the sphere. From the surface, if we will construct a cone, and the tip of the cone is coinciding to the center of the circle, let's say this is 4, right? Now, as this is cone, it is 3-dimensional, right? So the angle subtended at the center of this cone would be solid angle. And what does mean by steradian? Like how we can measure the solid angle. So steradian is actually the unit which is used in order to represent solid angle, and steradian can be defined as, it is the solid angle subtended at the center of the sphere, and one steradian is the solid angle subtended at the center of the sphere when the area of the sphere is equal to the square of radius to the square of radius. Okay, so one steradian will be that solid angle when the area of the sphere become equal to the square of radius. So let us take that this is r, the radius, and when the surface area of a sphere become equal to the square of radius, at that time the angle subtended at the center of the sphere would be 1 steradian. Okay, let us take that what will be, let us find what will be the angle in steradian for a complete sphere. If we will take the complete surface area of the sphere, how much steradian angle will be subtended at its center? Right, so the surface area of a sphere is actually 4 pi r square, and we know that steradian is area of the sphere divided by square of radius. So steradian is equal to, for sphere, we know that the total surface area would be 4 pi r square divided by r square. So r square are going to cancel one another. So we will be left with 4 pi. So a complete sphere will construct 4 pi steradian angle at its center. Right? So this was all about today's topic, that was an introduction to physics and a quick introduction to physical quantities and some of the important unit which we will be using throughout this course, right? So I hope that you will find this lecture very helpful. So if you are having any questions, you can put your queries and question in the comment section. So I hope that you will